you can see that we're blowing up the base first, okay? But we've laid out the track and we've tied it, right? If you look up close here, you can see the track is tied to the climbing wall, which is the most top peak of the slide, right? You're going to see at the peak, there's like 4 main ties there, which are very important. Now, notice how we started to blow it up, but what you got to remember is, see those green railings, those rock climbing railings? This is the point where you would want to take a blower and blow those up now, because when the whole thing's blowing up, you're not going to be able to reach the valves for those, okay? We'll see when it blows up. I'll check, make sure where the valves are, but I'm just kind of showing you step 1, put the base out. Step 2, roll the track over top and find that peak of the slide. You know, the rock climb meets the base. That's really important to find. And the other thing, Paul, is if you notice they put a rope, they tied a rope. You got to make sure you've got a couple, maybe 4 long ropes dangling, right? So when it blows up, you've got some control of the top. So you need to make sure you get those ropes, okay, on early. So as it goes up, then you've got something to kind of steer it a little bit. Because as you remember, when it goes up, it's a little bit cockeyed. You'll notice that we got 4 or 5 blowers going right now. You'll see 3 on this side, and there's 2 more. I'm just thinking, one on the inside, I think here somewhere. And I think on the other side. There's 5 blowers going right now. Gonna need lots of extension cords. Okay, need to have good power. Okay, yeah, you can see over there, the far side, there's another blower over there. So we're working on the base, but the thing is, you got to get the track laid out. The track has to be laid out and tied from the top. You can see ropes are ready. Ropes are ready to tie the track. They're on early. So there's a lot of preparation just before there's that other blower, number 5 blower. So we're working on the base right now. Working on the base. Oh, might be a blower in here. Oh, I think we got 6 blowers. So yeah, because this center wall has its own air chamber. And you got to remember, there's air chamber on the left, air chamber on the right, and then you got the center air chamber. So that's why you need the multiple blowers. And you want to get the whole thing going up at the base at the same time. We're not blowing up the track. We're not blowing up the climbing wall railings, and we're not blowing up the arch yet. We're waiting on that. You'll notice that the ladder is already attached, but looks like there should be a double ladder. Oh, we're missing one ladder. Oh, I see. The other ladder's not on yet. But we're going to put it on now, so you'll have both ladders on. And over on the other side, the slide cover is on. Wherever you see these points right here, these straps, these are your heavy anchor points, okay? There's a lot of other anchor points around. We're going to check it when it blows up. But just so you know, I think there's 8 of them. That's what I'm being told. But we're going to double check that. But nevertheless, those are your main anchor points to hold the slide. Those are the anchor points you want to put a heavy anchors on. Or multiple anchors. If they're only 60, 80 pounds, and put 3, 4, maybe 5. Okay? You can see now that the track is tied. That's the peak. We're looking at the peak there now. He's pulling it over a little bit. So as that goes up, it's going to be taking the track with it. Okay? So that's why the track has to be tied in on the peak of the frame. Okay? And it's going to pull up. See inside, you can see more of those main anchor points. They're telling me there's 8 of them. And I just say they're telling me because I always have to do an inspection. Oh, okay. Oh, he's gonna start blowing that up now. He's getting a little concerned now. It should have probably been blown up a little bit earlier. But you see the idea. That has to be blown up early because eventually it'll be so high you won't be able to reach those valves, okay? What you're looking at now is that white that you see there. That's actually the slide cover that you're looking at, okay? And then down here you got the white mesh. That's the very peak, the arches on the very top. I think you know that, but for my new clients that watch this video, I just want them to understand what they're looking at. And you can see there's more blower valves down at the bottom for that center rock wall. But we're using blowers on the other side. But we've got lots of blowers there. Okay, lots of blower valves. And once the slide's up, maybe in the morning the boys would go and they could just pull their boats in there and a little raft, and they can top up the air either side, okay? When you're looking at this blowing up, you'll notice the D-rings down the track. That has to be tied up later when it's inflated. But right now, as I mentioned earlier, we're getting the peak tied up first, so it pulls the slide, pulls the track up to the very top, okay? And then later when it's inflated, we'll come down and we'll tie up those other D-rings on the side. Here's another view of the track. You can see the track going right across the middle. And that's really important, okay? Before you start inflating it, to get it in position. You can see lots of ties. See, we got ropes. These ropes are already on, so they're already there to tie the track, okay? So they're already installed. This is going to tie. We have a special inflatable to go under here to support that, okay? This is for my new client. So you got your intake valve. This is your pressure release valve, okay? If in the hot sun, if it gets too hot, it'll just spit out some air when the expansion occurs, okay? This is the rock climbing side here, so you can see it taking shape. It's starting to come up, and you can see down in here there's some valves. There's still more valves there, okay? He's going up because he forgot to put a rope. So he's going to put a guy wire rope. So you need those guy wires, okay, early, okay? So when it blows up, you've got these guy wire ropes to help control it. And you can see what he's going to do. He's going to tie it to this pole. Now, if you don't have a pole, you just need some men. But the main thing is, as long as you got the ropes there, you can get some men to guide it. We're fortunate here, we've got lampposts, but I mean on the beach you won't have that. So you just have some men ready. You got to have some men around the unit to be ready as it pops up to the top, and you'll see that happen shortly. We're going to be testing this rock climb too. I got to make sure that the handles and steps are in the right configuration to climb appropriately. But the thing is, this rock climb is geared more for young adults and up. It's not meant for children. So we kind of make it a little bit difficult, that kids will find it difficult to climb. We do that on purpose. So you need a little bit of a reach. But we'll do an example of a climb here when we're blowing up. You can see it's starting to take some shape. I think they must be putting some air in here. It looks like it's inflating a little bit, or maybe that was from earlier. Oh, they do have they are inflating the track. They got one blower. One blower is starting to inflate the track to prepare it, okay? So as you got your main blowers to blow up the base, then yeah, put a blower on the track, okay? And let's get that started. So, because it's a lot of air and it takes time, so it's good that they're now starting to put air in the track as the base pulls it up. And you can see now how it's starting to pull the track up, and you can see the track is opening up more. That's all the mesh at the very top. So it's starting to take a little more shape now, coming along. You can see with the blower on the track, that one blower is filling up the whole track slowly, but you can see the air going in. So that track is laid out right in the middle. So it's a little bit of an art here to blow the base up, put lots of blowers on the base, get it going, and then throw one blower on the track and start the air going there. Okay? Just make a note here. You're going to find, as you're blowing it up, you're going to look for a personality of the slide. Because see, I can tell right now that the track, the weight is leaning towards us. So we don't need a rope on this side, a guy wire, because it's going to be on our side. But we put the guy wire on the other side. You saw him climb up, because we know now the far side is going to need the pull and support, okay? Because it's going to lean over one way or the other. It's going to lean to the left, or well, to the front, if I say this is the front, or the back. So we got to get to know our personality of the blow up. And I can see right now it's leaning towards us, so we're going to have to pull it that way out towards those apartments, okay, to give it some assistance to straighten up. So you can see the air filling up the track. We're starting to get our little hook is starting to take shape. Okay, so she's coming along. So far, so good. So far, so good. Now, something to keep in mind. You want those first ties to be tight because you're going to notice when we blow it up, when it sits in position, the track might be a little this way or a little that way. It's not going to be perfectly center. If you do get it perfectly center, then you hit it. You hit the nail on the head. But I mean, where I'm going with this is once this is blowing up, you really can't shift it one way or another. So you're going to learn that we need to tie those 4 points at the peak properly. And when this is blowing up, I'm going to show you if the rope should be tighter or more slack. And I'll let you know what I mean. But again, once it's up, you can't shift it a little this way, a little that way. It just doesn't move. You'll see when we get to that point. It's a big slide, and it takes a good day to get this all worked out. And it takes patience, okay? It takes patience. But listen, once this thing is up, you've got the monster slide. You know, you got the biggest floating water slide in the world, literally. I'm not kidding you. The biggest floating water slide in the world. And it's a money maker. So just remember, this is a monster. It's going to do you very well, but putting it up takes patience. And sometimes you have to deflate a little bit, or maybe sometimes we've deflated it right down again to make a big adjustment, okay, if it's not right. But the thing is, when it's blowing up, you got to be on standby, and you got to tell your team, be ready to cut the blowers. If the captain or the supervisor says, cut the blowers, stop it right away. Don't let it keep blowing if you got the wrong ropes tied to the wrong place, okay? That you're going to have to deflate it and then reset it and do it again. So like I said, patience is the key. Patience is the key. Once she's blowing up, she's strong, she's sturdy, and she'll work well for you and make you lots of money. Even stands well in good windstorms. You don't even have to really take it down. You just tell the people to go off and just let the wind blow it around, because the air will pass through it. You know, you can hear the sounds. It sounds like a creaking ship as it starts to stand up. So the pressure's building and it wants to stand up now. So we're just monitoring our blowers. Yep, and like I can see it's moving. It's creaking, it's trying to find its place. But at the same token, you have to monitor and make sure your ropes are not tangled. Okay, so you can see right now the supervisor just called the team over because we're in a lean now. We're in the lean, so you can see we're starting to control the lean, and we might even have to loosen the rope. So this is where the captain or the supervisor has to be ready to whistle loud, shut blowers off if you think there's a problem, okay? See, they're just double checking everything. See, they're just going around, they're checking the pressures, and they're watching the ropes tied up. Oh, there, they just shut off some blowers because they want to make some adjustments here. So let me find out what the situation is. And it's not a bad situation. It's just, as I said, if you think something's not right, stop the power and sort it out. Make sure you understand what's going on, because you don't want to keep the blowers going if the ropes are crossed or something's not tied right. See, now he's changing blowers around. So now he's adding a blower to the track now. So now the frame is going up. He's going to put a second, took one blower off the frame because the frame is blowing up good. But what he did now is put two blowers on the track. So now he's going to speed up the track inflation. That looks a bit scary, like always. That's why we call it a monster of a slide. It's a little scary, but just work it through. Let's see what we're doing here. Okay, you can see now it's starting to take some form. And as I mentioned earlier, the weight is to the front, if I call that the front. So this is the side that we need to pull and have some support. So everybody's just watching. And so what we're trying to do now is put a little bit of air into the track to help things firm up. But don't get scared. Don't get worried. Just be alert. That's the best thing I can say. Be alert of your ropes. Be alert of your blower. Okay, there. He's pulling there. They're starting to give it a pull now. So, but we still need more air. We're going to need more air, and then she's going to start to pop up. But so what we're doing right now is we're going to let the air do the job, because there's no way we can pull it. There's a lot of weight there. So we need to rely on the air pressure to pop it up higher. So be patient. It's coming. Okay, we got two blowers on that center wall, okay? That's the backbone of the slide. That center wall, that's what keeps the slide safe. When that thing's inflated, you could park a car up there. It's literally that strong, because we're working with a lot of air pressure. Now, you can see we do have a release valve here. You'll see those release valves. So in the hot sun, if it gets too hot in the air, it will release air. But at the same token, if there was ever damage and you got people up there, that's the trick. It doesn't fall down fast. It takes like maybe 30 minutes to go down. So even if your air is leaking and it's going down, you don't have to panic. This thing has blocked air chambers, okay? So the whole slide doesn't go down, okay? If you've got a hole over here, it's just going to start to limp on this side, but it'll still stand, and you'll have lots of time to get people off. So we've worked in the safety aspect. So I'm just giving you some of the reverse side of the things as we talk about the inflation. So now he just added more blowers to the track. So we're going to get the track going more solidly now. So you can hear it working. You know, like I said, it's like a ship creaking in the ocean. You hear all these sounds. It's the vinyl rubbing the vinyl. But if I can hold the camera still, you will see it's going up slowly. It's shifting. It's going up. And the air is filling up into the track. So we're just on standby. We've been blowing it up now. We've been here 2 hours now, 2 hours. So you can see where we are in 2 hours. See, you can see the boys standing on it. So it's getting pressure. It's getting pressure. There now, we just missed it, but the boys went over to the rope there and they just gave it a little snug. See, we're trying to get that pop up now. As it blows, the pressure, the weight, the pressure will work for us and it will slowly pop up. But I have to tell you, in this stage of blow up, it's always scary because you think, oh no, it's leaning and that, but you'll be surprised. Air pressure is pretty strong and it will pop it up. But you got to watch your blowers, and yeah, maybe you got to come over every so often and get 3 or 4 or 5 guys pulling on the ropes a little bit to just help it a little bit, okay? Just help it as it goes. But like I said, you can't lift it yourself with manpower. You actually need to let the air do the work, and then you just add the little bit of extra momentum to try to help it a little bit. So see, that center wall is doing the work for us, that center backbone. You can see, if I hold the camera still, she's going up, and that's what we want. That backbone, that's the key right now. The back, get that spine. I don't know, a backbone, you know what I mean? That's the main support wall. And you can see it's going up. As I look above, I can see it going a little higher, a little higher. It's just inch by inch by inch. Oh, maybe centimeter by centimeter by centimeter. You can see just 10 minutes ago you couldn't see through here, so just in the last 10 minutes you can see the wall, that center wall pushing up more. So here we go. See, we're starting to see through. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. It's always a little scary at this point, you know. Even for myself, I've built these slides, many of them now, but every time we do a blow up, you know, there's always a little concern. Always a little concern. It's always a little scary at this point, you know. Even for myself, I've built these slides, many of them now, but every time we do a blow up, you know, there's always a little concern. Always a little concern. The track is definitely filling up with air now. It's going to start to firm up. You can see the track from this angle. So she's going up slowly. She's climbing. Looks a little scary, but not really, but always looks a little scary. You can see that as that center wall pulls it up, it's going to bring the track in line with this. You know, you can see the ties there, so you'll see that it'll pull it up and it'll lean this way. Pull it this way a little more closer to the center line. So as we go around, you can see it taking form. Getting more up. Okay, okay. So there, what he's done now, he's actually put 2 more blowers on this side. So we've got 5 blowers now on this center wall because we've done the job already on the base. The track, he took one off the track because the track is almost filled. So at the end now, we want this center wall up. So we got 2 blowers here. And then on the other side, we got 3 blowers. So we're 5 blowers right now on this mid wall. So you can see them just pulling the track over a little bit. So more and more, it's coming, and we got somebody just holding the rope, getting ready, because at some point we'll just get maybe 4 or 5 guys to give it that last tug. But she's going now. We got 5 blowers on it, so it's filling fast. Don't worry about the track right now. The track looks like it's going a little crazy, but that's okay. Just let the track find its way. The track is following. Now you can see up top there where it's pulling. Okay. Oh, let me get the camera. Sorry about that. Oh. So see, there's those top. See, that's the top of the slide. There's a wall, so you can see those ties up there. There's a lot of stress and pressure on those ties, but I guess that's a testimony of the quality. You know, you can see we're pulling on the D-ring a lot of weight. There's 2 D-rings on this side, 2 D-rings on the other side on the top. So it's a testimony of our quality, how good those D-rings are to be able to pull that. Doesn't rip, but it's going to find its shape in very shortly here. The key is to keep walking around it and keep monitoring everything. Okay, don't just sit back and have a coffee. Or if you do have a coffee, keep walking around, because see, you wanna just keep understanding the personality of it. That's the key. It's got a personality, and you just want to follow it around. So you can see she's going to snap up very soon here. So you can see the 3 blowers are still blowing. Lots of people here. See the track right here? It wouldn't be a bad idea to throw 2 ropes, 2 long guy wire ropes here, and on the other side, 2 long guy wire ropes here. The more ropes you put on the weak side, if I call it the weak side, because it's leaning this way, but we want to pull it this way. So early in the game, if you get lots of ropes, put some ropes on these tracks here, maybe 1, 2, and then over here 1, 2. Then you've got more ropes to pull. See, sometimes the Chinese guys take shortcuts, you know, but I'm not one for shortcuts. I'd rather do it right the first time. You know, like if you, and even these, like I'm thinking best to tie the ropes to the track, because then you can give it that, you can help it, right? You can help pull it over a little bit. That's all it needs. But nevertheless, you can see the backbone is still bent. So it's going to straighten up in a few minutes here. So you can see she's coming. It's getting where our instinct is to kind of help it a little bit, but it's not too much to do until that center wall. That's key. That center wall, he has to stand up and straighten up. It's our instinct. See, the boys are walking around, making sure. See, now they're trying to push it a little bit. Oh, see, they're trying to give it a little push. As I said, it's instinct to try to help. It's instinct to try to help, but there's only so much. You know, it wouldn't be a bad idea if there's more ropes. I'm going to show you something. Here we go. She's getting ready to snap. You can see that she's starting to stand up. It's getting ready to pop. So there. So now we're past the scary part. See what I mean? At first it seemed very scary, but now we're starting to look like a slide. So she's starting to take shape. It's coming. Okay, now he's going to put a little more air in the base. So here we go. See, we're standing up now. We're getting closer to normal. So it does seem scary at first, but she goes up. She goes up. There, he's putting a little more air in the base now because the tubes are straightening out. So they're, you know, when it's down, it's kinked. It's kinked, so it doesn't. So now that it's straightening up, he's just putting a little more air in the tubes. You can see now she's starting to take shape. She's starting to fall into place. Here we go, more and more. The only thing I worry about is, see the track. The track wasn't really in the best position. We're going to have to see if we can fix that a little bit. I just worry because, I only worry, I mean, time-wise, because if we can't get that slide lined up, that's why I actually like to tie up. You know, there, see, he's trying to push it over now. See, actually, I think we're better to tie these up when it's down. I did that before, and then it pulls the slide in. Okay, it's important now when the slide was down, we tied up the peak. The 2 points here, the 2 points over there. But I'm telling you, there, see, they're moving it over now. There. Okay, it is getting a little bit in place, but it's, what should happen is before we inflate, we should be tying up number 1, number 2, and number 3. If we tie those up, then as it blows up, it'll pull it right into location. But now the thing is, we don't pull it, or we don't tie it up like short. It's probably going to need, you know, maybe 30 cm or 20 cm, or maybe like 18 inches to tie, or 15 inches. Got to work this out. See, you can see here, yeah, if you look at the bottom, don't look at the top because the slide's over too far. But if you look at these bottom ones, you can see if you tie that up before you inflate and just give it maybe like 15, 18 inches. And then we go on this side. Oh, okay, we're close on this side. So maybe, yeah, if I look at the D-rings, yeah, I'm thinking maybe 15 inches on each side will pull it, will help pull it, especially at the top. If you tie that top one and it's only 15 inches spacing, well, then you're getting it in position. Now, as it gets to this point, once you're happy with your track in position, we've got the slide up. So then you're going to take the blowers, and you can see there's a valve here. Now we're going to then blow up the walls here, blow up the walls here. Now this should have been blown up when it was down lower, but we're just doing a test here. So remember these rock climbing guardrails, I call them, the guardrails. They need to be blown up when your inflation is in the early stage, when you can reach it. Blow those up early, okay? The walls are the last thing to blow up, okay? So now we've got the base in good shape. Now it's just a matter the track is not really aligned. And this is where, if you've got this situation and you can't get it moved over, like there are some little tricks here to try to help. Like you can get 4 or 5 guys right here and push it, and you can 1, 2, 3 push, 1, 2, 3 push, and you can. And then you get some guys on the ropes there pulling. That's why it's better to have more ropes. So listen, it's about what you do in the beginning before blow up. That can help save you a lot of hassle, okay? The Chinese guys here are just, they know I just want to get a test blow up so I can make sure everything's in good shape. There's no problems, that kind of thing. Okay, you can see the ropes again. See the ropes? So if they were tied up early, it would have pulled it over a little bit more. But I think that looks pretty normal there for size. Like I said, 15 inches about. Let me go to this side. Okay, yeah, a little more. See, no, it's got to be pushed over. So wait, we're going to, yeah. 没有
哪个？这提那个。
Yeah. 没有 I think.
有
Yeah.
这个找找。
Yeah. Okay.
这个不
Yeah. But I want to put here.
这个
Yeah. Okay. 知道 Okay. I want to put other stair on. Yeah.
有
Okay. 好 OK 了。And again, if you have these tied up early, say just 15 inches, 15 inches, I don't know, maybe 12 inches, you know. But listen, if you tie these up early, you have to be ready to shut your blower off, because if you've got them too tight, you got to loosen them off a little bit. Okay? So it's about being a little bit smart. And you got to be a little strategic here, because you got a bunch of little things you got to think about. If you're tied up, you need to really watch your blow up and be ready to cut the blowers if you think. But see, as it is right now, what'll happen is the boys will leave the walls down, and then they'll go up and they'll start tying these up. See, if you notice, you just hang over that. You can drag a rope or something. Okay, you can see now. They're trying to shift. So what we just did there is we took 5 guys and we extremely push it to try to get the top up. So you can see now we're getting lined up to our D-rings better. So it's looking like maybe 12, 15 inches about on each rope. See, it's just a little bit to our side. So we're trying to, no, I'll show you over here. Okay, so here we go. See, they're pushing it extremely over to get it to move over, and then they bring it back. Okay, so it's like push hard here to move that. That's what we're trying to move. See, now they're just saying, okay, it's looking pretty good. See how we're lining up to the ropes? We're lining up to the ropes, so that's looking pretty good. Actually, I like it. I don't think we have to deflate it. We're looking pretty good. I know okay, we're going to inflate the wall real quick so we can see how our alignment is. So we're looking pretty good. So I don't think we have to do a deflate. As you can see there, you can see D-rings here, and we've got some. You can see the D-rings there, so you can see the alignment. That's looking pretty good. I'm happy with that. Now, it does look like it's a little bit over that way, but I mean, you'll see when it's blowing up, it doesn't have to be exactly center, because the thing does not move once it's set up, okay? Now, once we get the walls up, we'll have a quick look. And, yeah, see, you can see now, we're going to try to get it over a little bit more there, a little bit more. So again, before you blow it up, it's good to put more ropes, tie ropes at maybe 15 inches or, you know, so it keeps it kind of centered. But if you tie the ropes first before inflation, you got to be ready to cut your blowers if you think the ropes are too tight, okay? That's what you got to watch. The Chinese guys like to go the other way. They want to blow it up and then they'll tie it up later. So it's a matter of choice. Actually, you start to learn a little more. But it's actually looking pretty good. I would say right now we're at about an 85-90% accuracy. That would be my guess right now. What you're going to want to do is tie this D-ring to the other side. There's 2 D-rings there. You pull them together, and then you put one anchor rope down, okay? And then you put multiple anchors down there. Those you put, if you're just using 60-pound pails of, then you want to put, 5, 6, 8, or if you're accessible to some big, heavy devices, rocks, anchors, whatever, you can drop them in place, okay? But what you do, though, is you bring the 2 D-rings, they won't touch, but you tie 2 ropes and go down to 1 rope, okay? Okay, we're blowing up the walls now so we can try, yeah, so everything looking good, Here's the rock wall there, so you can see. We're going to give it a little test. I want to make sure that, yeah, getting out of the water is the tricky part right here. They got the handles. They should have had steps right at the water level. So now you can see we're now deflating it, but just want you to see how that back wall is very, very straight and strong. And right here in the middle is 2 air chambers, so it's separated, so that's plugged. So air on one side, air on the other side. So now we're reverse inflating. We're using the blowers now as a vacuum cleaner. And of course you can see that we installed those little tube supports. And see, now we're letting the air, deflating the air at the top and holding it all in. So now to deflate, we basically just reverse. What was last to blow up is now first to deflate. So we start with the track first, and as you see, we hold it in so it deflates under control. This way we have it more in a controlled state as opposed to just letting it flop. So now we will put an inflatable step here. An inflatable step will attach, and then that'll make it easy to get launched for the rock climb. And again, like we said, it's designed for the older teens and adults. It's not designed for children. You can see inside here the structure. Designed for strength. So now that we've got the inflatable down, we rolled up the track. So this is your track now. The track is all rolled up, and now we just got to roll up the base.